Hey guys, it's Toby, and I just wanted to touch base and let you know that I'm offering some new services for people who are interested. If you know me, you know I love learning, and so lately I've really been spending a lot of time learning about astrology and how it is kind of like a map for our experience here on Earth. So I know there's a lot of astrologers out there sharing all kinds of stuff, and that's not really the way that I like to use it. I like to use it to just learn about myself. And the reason why I find it fascinating is because the more I've learned about it and look at my own personal blueprint, my map, it tells the story of the life that I've experienced up to this point. And so that's pretty amazing, and that is why it intrigued me, because how is that even possible that it would know that stuff about me, right? And also it's really given me a new appreciation for myself and for how I am wired, and to embrace parts of myself that I used to think were a little bit too much or different, or why can't I be like everybody else and think like everybody else, and things like that. So, and why do I struggle with the things that I struggle with when other people don't? And maybe they've been through worse things, or maybe they've had easier experiences, so it's really given me a lot of insight and appreciation for myself, and it just fascinates me. But some of the things that I like, if any of you guys know me, you know that I love to go deep. I love to go deep into the mire and figure out the deep things about myself, how I can, why I'm wired that way, why I behave a certain way, why things happen, and I like to really dig deep into that. And I've always been like that, but starting when I started having a lot of health issues, chronic health issues and diagnoses and things like that, and I did a lot of trauma work, I decided that I wasn't really going to do the medical world and the medical options for all that, medicine, surgeries, and things like that. So I started learning natural health and wellness practices, and trying out different modalities, and learning that your body is a communication device, and it's going to communicate with you when there's something that needs addressed and maybe fixed and recalibrated, which is how I came up with my business name. And so, yeah, I'm really fascinated by the body. And in massage school, there's a book we had to read. It was called The Body Keeps the Score. And it just talks a lot about how whenever you experience something shocking, could be trauma, but I mean, trauma is like one of those words where people are like, I didn't have any trauma. If trauma is it doesn't have to be like you got shot or raped or something like that. It doesn't have to be that kind of trauma. It could be like you fell off your bike and broke your 2 front teeth. You know what I mean? Or maybe a teacher didn't like you and made, your grade, like your year at school, hard. Something like that. Or maybe it was just like you felt different because you had red hair. Or who knows? You know what I mean? Like, trauma doesn't need to be this big, huge thing. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I really learned a lot about the body and how it does absorb everything and it holds everything. And I learned it through so many different things. The mind change method, emotion code, different things with psychology, and I just love all of that stuff. And the more I work with people as a massage therapist, because I've been practicing massage for I think 8 or 9 years now, and I see, like a lot is really stored in the body that we don't verbalize, that we don't identify, that we don't know, we don't got time to deal with it, so it gets squished and stuffed down into our body. But back to the astrology part, there's two aspects in astrology that I really find fascinating and I like to learn about. It's the moon. What your moon sign is really helps you to kind of figure out what the best self-care is for you, what's really going to nurture you for self-care, because the world tells us what self-care is, but that self-care doesn't necessarily work for everyone. So really finding out what your moon sign is a good way to figure out what is true self-care for you. And the other thing I really love to look at is Black Moon Lilith, and or Lilith, if you just want to call that. I've read a lot of information. I've watched tons of different educational videos about it. Tom Jacobs was a huge Lilith person who educated a lot on Lilith. He has since passed, but he's got a lot of great information. And so I love learning about Lilith and then helping people to identify where their Lilith is and maybe how to work with that feminine part of them that they feel like they can't show anyone, that they don't want to address, and that's called the shadow. So if you've ever heard anybody talking about shadow work, part of that can be like Lilith work and working on that shadow part of yourself and shining some light on that and loving that, and then letting it really, as soon as you start to shine light on things, they lose their power over you. And so I'm real passionate about just helping people discover what's going on with their moon, what's going on with their Lilith, and hopefully helping them to figure out some healing. And right now Lilith is really getting activated in the cosmos, and so a lot of people might really be feeling a lot of feminine wounds, mother wounds, maybe experiencing some health crises with female organs, the breast, relationships regarding other women or themselves or their daughters. So I hear that a lot from friends and people that I work with, and yeah, and for fellas it can even be, they have a mom, they might have a sister, and it's in everybody's chart, so it can affect fellas in a way that maybe it explains some of the ways, maybe they have seen women, maybe how they have treated women, or maybe where they have a heart for women that they don't understand why. So anyway, if you're interested in that, please just reach out to me, or you can go on to my website, recalibratemassageandwellness.com, and I'm not sure I have on there, I might just have health mentoring, holistic health mentoring, and so that's what you would check, because at that we do everything. So anyway, if that's something that you would love to learn about and pursue, just to give you, maybe you've tried all kinds of other things and you want to maybe get to the bottom of it in a different way, or shed some light on it in a different way. It's all about shifting your perspective. It's just a tool. It's not the end all be all, but it's a tool. It's a tool to use, just like all the other things: acupuncture, massage, human design, the Enneagram. Like, there's so many different tools and books and self-help books and all that stuff that people use to learn about themselves, and astrology is no different. It's really just depends on who you're working with. So and that you have to be comfortable with that. So anyway, reach out. It's really it'd be really interesting to see what's happening in the world with Lilith being really highlighted right now in the cosmos. So thanks, love you guys, take care.